On the podcast, we already talked about Ma'Khia Bryant and like everything that went down with that situation. I guess from a cop standpoint, and I touched a little bit on like basically what happened about the other parts that people are not talking about the situation, which was the 29-year-old woman that came in to jump a 15-year-old girl. So basically, I'm gonna just read uh what Lashandra Tinsley was saying. FYI, I went to the memorial yesterday, spoke with Ma'Khia Bryant's family friend. Those girls, one was 28-year-old adult, had come to Ma'Khia Bryant's foster home 3 days in a row trying to fight her. The foster mom who had the girls come fight Ma'Khia, claiming she was unruly. Everyone in the entire house was against Ma'Khia, and when her father came, she finally felt safe enough to come out and fight. Imagine a 15-year-old thinking process of having to fight a 28-year-old and others, and her own foster mother calling to have her beat up. Makai's little sister is the one who made the 911 call. 3 days straight all by herself. I'm sure Micaiah was extremely scared, but but felt she had to be brave enough to protect herself by any means necessary. This information hasn't come out in the media just yet, but if the investigation is done properly and there's transparency, you will hear all about it. Had the cop tased her or simply attempted to stop her from stabbing the girl, he could have found out that that's why he, along with the foster mother and all the adults involved, in at fault. And that's all I have to say about that. So basically, like I already knew this information. So like, but I still want, for some reason, I want to speak on it here because I don't know. It was just something that's on my mind. But I said it this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people done said it. Everybody felt that girl. Why? First things first. Why is a 29-year-old woman coming to fight a 15-year-old girl, and why is your foster mother calling people to fight a 15-year-old girl? Why couldn't you talk to the 15-year-old? Now, I'm not a foster child, never been a foster child. So I don't know how foster homes act or, all that. So I'm not even going to act like I know what goes down in a foster home. I don't. But I do hear a lot of fucked up stories about foster homes. Like, they're not, it's like some are good, but a lot of bad. Um, this is one of those things where, like, what like why didn't the father, and this is like when I say everybody felt like including the father, why didn't the father just come in and just what we're not going to do is this? But why, even before, even to the fact that he had to be there just to like feel comfortable, first things first, why didn't the foster mom call people to get jumped? And why is a 29-year-old coming? Like, there's a lot of bad things that going on in this, but um everybody in that joint felt it. Like, a cop shouldn't have had to been called, but at the same time, a 29-year-old woman shouldn't be going out trying to fight a 15-year-old girl. Like, what's the point of that? What was the message you was sending? Like, I don't fucking get it. Now, if everybody was in that house, I don't know. I don't know how to, like I said, I don't know how foster homes work. So I don't know what could have been happening, what procedures, what could have been done. But from the outside looking in, this is one of the most fucked up stories, even with the cops shooting her. Because, like I said, there have been many stories of cops, like where people had guns, or people had was threatening to kill somebody, or people had weapons, like white people having weapons in their fucking hands, and the cops don't pull out their guns. Some of them they pull out their tasers or some shit like that. Like I said, I was supposed to look up lethal force, because I want to know what was the lethal force in Columbus, Ohio, because that's where it happened. Like, but I know like warning shots are not authorized, but at the same time, like, the cop for some reason was they said, and like the cops was like, oh, she was coming at me with the knife, which she wasn't. I don't even think she knew the cop was there. And from what I've seen, the cop didn't even introduce pull out no warnings, no sirens, and nothing like that. Like to let people know the cops are here. Like usually, now I don't know if they're supposed to or not, but usually when there's disturbance like this, usually a cop go whoop whoop, and you know they're coming. Like, oh, the cops are here. Y'all niggas better fucking behave, or we need to get something done. Like this shit, like I said, this shit shouldn't be happening and all that other stuff. Like I've seen I've seen a lot of shit get settled. Even in my like quick story, and I'm not gonna say no names, but we used to. My older sister used to have this friend that stayed with us, and for some reason, this girl was not liked by a lot of people. Like she had a fucking attitude. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a problem with her. I never had a problem with her. Like she was cool with me, but if for some reason, every time I hear like stories about her, a lot of people did not like her. There was one time, and I think, yeah, it was like I come home, me and my little sister, cause we was going to middle school, and we come home, and there is niggas like a crowd of people if in my front yard, in my front yard, to jump one girl and my older sister's friend. Like I don't know if they was trying to go for the one on one or the fade, but they was trying to literally try to drag her out. It got to a point where either the cops were called, but the cops never showed up. So my sister had to call people from my old hood because we moved into another neighborhood. So we had to call people from my old hood. These niggas had to come pop the truck on people and everybody dispersed. But even then, it's just like something like what I'm saying is some shit should have been handled to a point where nobody got hurt. And I guess the more of that story because like, but I understand not everything gets handled that way. But at the same time, like a girl's life is taken. Like everybody everybody that was involved in that situation should hold some accountability to that. Whether it's the foster mother, um, whether it's whoever it was supposed to be there to break up the fight, like everybody, in my opinion, is responsible for that girl's death. Even to the cop that shot the 4 shots. Now I know a lot of people, and this is where the next fight is, because a lot of people are trying to like justify the shooting. Oh, like, oh, he saved another girl and all that other stuff. It was just like, um, because she was. I'm not going to lie to you. She was about to stab her, but she was defending herself. And in my opinion, if they was coming to jump her, then it was a fair fight. Like if they was coming in there to jump her, and all she had to defend was a knife, because a lot of people, I think, but now there's this part, like I guess from a street point of view, people understand, but from a law point of view, people don't understand because that's why it is like, oh, once she aggressive, it's like she's the fucking aggressor. It's like they came there to jump her, like she wouldn't even have to come with like, because a lot of people are calling Ma'Khia Bryant the aggressor. It's like they came out there to jump her. So like she was scared. She was probably in go mode. She was probably riled up. She was probably like she had to fight for her life because a 29-year-old woman came to jump a 15-year-old girl. Like a lot, there's no to me. There's no justification for that. It's just like shit that, in my opinion, it shouldn't have happened. But this is, I think, in conclusion, because I don't want to be long about this. This shit's fucked up. This whole situation is fucked up. Rest in peace, Ma'Khia Bryant. I'm sorry that this had to happen to you. I'm sorry this is the way you do. I don't like seeing people like this go, especially for dumb reasons like that. Like this is probably like I'm not gonna lie, like on my podcast, and I have a lot of sad stories on that podcast, but they're like this one and the Chicago rapper's daughter getting shot because you're fucking the father wants to defecate on the graves of your ops. Like this shit really needs like to be considered and handled and all that stuff. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly and I'm out. Peace.